It's never been more clear. Keys to victory for the Rams this week against the Seattle Seahawks, and some facts that make this game really interesting and what will be the key factors of the game for both teams, and an injury update to wide receiver Davante Adams. All that and more on this episode of Rams Digest. Welcome back to another episode of Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Finehirsh. Before we get into today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 5K, 5,000 subscribers. So if you want to be a part of that journey, make sure to hit that sub button and click that notification bell right now and click all so you get notified and never miss whenever we post our daily new Rams Digest video content pieces covering all things Rams so you do not miss a beat this NFL regular season. Leave a like on this video. Week 11 getting underway tomorrow with the Patriots and Jets on Thursday Night Football. And leave a like right now as well for Josh and I. We will be back on stream this coming Sunday, so November 16th at around 12:55 p.m. Pacific time for this ever-important divisional matchup versus the Seattle Seahawks. Leave a like right now if you're going to be joining the stream as well. But we have to get into today's stories, and the first story is how the Rams can be successful against this Seattle defense. It's been elite throughout the first 10 weeks of the season. This story is from Rams Wire, and we will get into it right now. The Rams head coach Sean McVay has proven time and time again this season that his offense is sensational at moving the sticks. Not only do the Rams have the third most first downs heading into Week 11 with 215, but they also convert on third down 41% of the time, which ranks 11th. Now this dichotomy might look a little strange. How can the Rams have a lot of first downs, but aren't one of the best teams in converting third downs? Easy. It's because the Rams rarely put themselves in adverse third down situations. LA is tied for the fewest third down attempts this year, 100, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. However, Pittsburgh is 26th in converting those into first downs. Yeah. And that's what's going to be key for Sean McVay and this Rams team heading into this game against Seattle, is that you need to keep yourself first down and get a gain of, in between 4 and 6 yards every time. The second down, try to get that first down, because the Seahawks defense is so stingy. They're great at tracking the ball. As we saw last week, DeMarcus Lawrence himself scored 2 touchdowns. I mean, he outscored a lot of fantasy players this past week, fantasy offensive players, even quarterbacks. So, I mean, I know fantasy football isn't really the measure we should use for how good a player is. Sometimes it can, but for DeMarcus Lawrence, what an amazing week in general. So you got to be ready, got to take care of that football, and getting yourself as few third down attempts as possible against this Seahawks defense is the best way to possibly do that. And Pro Football Focus's Timo Risky had another way to showcase this talent in McVay's offense. He plotted a team's average yards to go in third down situations versus a team's rate of moving the sticks before third down. The result proves the Rams have been insanely good at setting their offensive drives up for success. Yeah, we didn't really see that as much in the first couple weeks of the season, and I think a key part of this as well is that 12 personnel and 13 personnel that the Rams have been using so much more, as I talked about in my last video. We'll see how they will use it against the Seahawks, because again, you thought the Niners defense was good. I mean, I get they're injured, but it is Robert Saleh. This Seahawks defense is healthier. I know Ernest Jones is a little banged up, former Ram linebacker, so we'll see if he is able to play in this one. But the rest of that defense, Woolen, Witherspoon, their rookie safety, Imo Nuari. I might have said that last name wrong, so I apologize. But you know who I'm talking about. And Leonard Williams has been really good. Obviously, Ernest Jones in the linebacker position. DeMarcus Lawrence, who was an offseason pickup. So that defense is going to be ready for anything coming to them. Especially if Ernest Jones is out there, he has some familiarity with the Sean McVay, Chris Shula-ish system. So it is going to be interesting just to see how they can keep up this third personnel and this 13 personnel, I should say, and adjust it, as well as keeping themselves ahead of the sticks is going to be ever important against this defense. As you can see, no other team comes close to them in the upper right quadrant. The Rams average around 5.5 yards to go on third down, but convert first downs before third down on more than 55% of their drives. That is incredible for keeping drives alive, as it opens up your entire playbook for every down and distance. Yeah, it does. When you're getting these first down conversions on either first or second down, you kind of have whatever play that you want to run here. And considering you have Matthew Stafford, a quarterback who's been great at dissecting defenses this year, only 2 interceptions, been getting sacked less as well. The O-lines felt more confident as a result of this, and the O-line is going to be a key group in this game. Obviously, we know all eyes are going to still be on Harrison Mevis, the kicker, because I feel it will be attempted in this game. The Rams are not scoring a touchdown on every drive. Despite how good the offense has been, the Seahawks are going to be ready to play. And we know that defense is stingy when it comes to scoring. We're going to talk about that a little later, too. So Harrison Mevis is going to have to be on his game. But that old line is going to need to be on their game as well. Even though the Seahawks don't blitz as much, they're great at getting to the quarterback. They're great at wreaking havoc, getting pressure. So that O-line is going to be key as well in order to keep this stat going as well for the Rams. It helps, too, that the Rams have a few of the best skill position players at picking up first downs. Receiver Puka Nacua leads the NFL in first down receptions with 40. Davante Adams isn't far behind with 34, which ranks 10th. Even running back Kyren Williams is great at moving the sticks with 43 first down runs, which is third best in the league. Now, it all really falls back to Matthew Stafford and McVay. That duo is creating advantageous situations for the offense and setting them up for success throughout the drive, and it's a major reason why the Rams rank 5th in scoring offense and offensive yards this season. Yeah, it is. Again, Sean McVay, these last few weeks, the play calling has been pretty much perfect. And Sean McVay even said earlier today, I don't know why I didn't use Terrence Ferguson earlier. Maybe he started watching our videos. Josh and I have both been talking about for weeks now how they should start using Terrence Ferguson more, and it looks like they are going to be listening to us. But the reason why Puka Nacua was the thumbnail is, look at that. He leads the NFL in first down receptions with 40. Josh sometimes on stream calls it third and Puka or third and Davante. Like, both of these guys can easily get you first downs. If Puka is a thumbnail because Davante is a bit banged up right now, obviously, with the oblique injury. Stay tuned for an update on him. But for Puka, he's healthy coming into this game, and he is going to have to be the separator on this receiving core, especially if Davante is playing but not 100%. Puka is going to have to be that guy who's available in the pass game to get those first downs. I won't be surprised if Ferguson is targeted as well on third down. The Rams have gone to him a few times, and he's delivered, so why not keep doing it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we'll see exactly how that goes right now. But comment down below right now, what are your thoughts on this right now? The Rams being one of the better offenses in the league in general at avoiding third down in general, and they're pretty good when it comes to converting. They're ranked 11th, which isn't, top of the top, but that's still very good, and that's exactly where you want to be for when you get on third down. Your offense isn't floundering, you're able to call the right plays, you're able to execute the right plays, and you're going to need to execute against this Seahawks defense. The same needs to be said for the Seahawks offense. They're going to have to execute as well if they want to keep this game close too, but this is more so about the Rams side of things and them having to execute. But comment down below right now, who do you think is going to be key in helping the Rams make sure they avoid these third downs? I think it's going to be an offensive unit as a whole. I think it's going to be pretty similar to the game Puka missed, where it's not going to be one guy's relied on. It's going to be kind of more of an entire team deal, because the Seahawks, they're going to prep for everybody, but you're going to prep for more for a guy like Puka than you are for a guy like Xavier Smith. So maybe Xavier Smith comes up with a big play. But comment down below right now what you think of that. And we do have some more facts to get into about this game from both teams that really make this matchup even closer than it already is. This is also brought to us by Rams Wire, which we will be getting into right now. And the Rams have the second best defense on third down and in the red zone. Converting on third down and scoring in the red zone is difficult when facing the Rams. It's what makes Los Angeles one of the best defenses in football. The Rams allow a conversion rate of 33.3% on third down and a touchdown rate of 46.4% in the red zone. As good as the Seahawks offense has been, they're only 16th in the NFL in third down conversions, 39.2, so the Rams could have an advantage there, yeah. That's what the Rams defense is going to have to do, get them off the field. They're going to have to prevent the big plays from Sam Darnold, because we've seen Sam Darnold make these big plays with ease. He does have 6 interceptions on the year. The O-line that he has this year is better. As many Rams fans know, we were able to sack Sam Darnold 9 times in the playoffs when he was a member of the Vikings still, but the Vikings O-line was pretty injured, and the Seahawks O-line is not, from what I know. So their O-line's going to come ready as well. So the defense, especially the linebackers, the coverage is going to have to confuse them if you want to stop that. But this Rams defense, I think, will continue to play well on third down. I don't see why they won't. And the Seahawks are top 7 in red zone offense and defense. The Seahawks don't find it very difficult to score touchdowns when they get inside the 20, finding the end zone 67.7% of the time. Defensively, they're almost just as good. They rank 7th in the NFL, allowing touchdowns only 53.3% of the time. This game can come down to which team executes better in the red zone, and I fully believe this as well. I fully believe that this game will come down to that. Obviously, the game's decided by who scores more points, and in the red zone, 7 or 6, because 7 is not guaranteed for us right now, but 6 is greater than 3, obviously. So you want to keep on getting those touchdowns against the Seahawks defense. It's very stingy. I know I've said that word a lot. That is not going to make things easy for the Rams at all. You're going to have to come with a balanced offensive attack if you want to get into the red zone against the Seahawks. And both teams are top 5 in points for and against. This is a heavyweight fight between two of the best offenses and defenses in the NFL. The Rams are 5th and 2nd in points for and against per game, respectively. The Seahawks are 3rd and 5th in those two categories as well. It's why they're both outscoring their opponents by an average of 11 points per game. Yeah, both of these teams, good job scoring, good job keeping teams out of the end zone. That's something that really started with Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris talked about yards over points. That we saw the Niners get a lot of yards, but in the red zone, they didn't really do as good of a job as you would want, obviously, for the Niners. And we heard Raheem Morris talk about this when he was a coordinator. He said, I'll give up yards, but I won't give up points. And Chris Shula has kind of had a bit of a similar philosophy when it comes to that on the defensive side of the ball, and it's been working well for the Rams. And the Seahawks doing their job as well on both sides. Defense, obviously, we knew the defense was going to be great coming into the year. The defense was good last year. Mike McDonald, defensive guy from the Ravens, makes sense. But the offense as well has been great, playing kind of off that defense. So if the Rams do score on this defense early, I think it could fluster Sam Darnold a little bit, because he is still on pumpkin watch. Obviously, we don't necessarily root for that. Sam Darnold, California kid, Orange County kid, Dana Hills High School graduate. So being from Orange County myself, I do have a bit of a soft spot for him. But unfortunately, I have to root against him for this week. So we'll see how he looks there. And Jackson Smith-Njigba and Puka Nacua are 1st and 2nd in receiving yards per game. And anyone tuning into Sunday's game will be treated to two of the best receivers in football right now. JSN ranks 1st in receiving yards per game by a lot, averaging 115.7 yards per game. Nacua has missed parts of 3 different games, but he still averages 96.9 yards, which ranks 2nd in the NFL. For comparison, Nacua has 3 more catches than Smith-Njigba, but has 266 fewer yards, which shows how impressive JSN has been this year. Yeah, again, JSN's been the better deep threat than Nacua since their college days. JSN at Ohio State had him more, because he has more speed too, so he was able to break away, whereas Puka Nacua's more so short, intermediate game with a good job at avoiding tacklers and following blocks. JSN does that too, but JSN's a better deep ball route runner. They target him going deep more. No disrespect to JSN, it's just how they're used, and I do think Puka Nacua is a better overall receiver if you're talking route running, blocking, but it's very close. Obviously, at the top 2, I don't think it's still going to change. The LSU boys, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, still the top 2, but I'll put these 2 along with CeeDee Lamb in my top 5 wide receivers in the NFL. Comment down below right now, what are your top 5 receivers in the NFL? Guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown as well are right outside of there, so comment down below. Another California kid, Amon-Ra St. Brown, by the way, but I do want to know what you think about that. Yeah, these 2 are going to be a treat to watch on Sunday. Hopefully, the Rams defense can do a bit of a better job containing JSN. JSN is on my fantasy team. If you watch the streams, you would know that, but I do want the Rams to contain him first and foremost for us to get this win. And both teams are bottom 4 in blitz rate. Part of what makes each of these defenses so good is their ability to generate pressure without blitzing. The Rams only blitz 17.8% of the time, and the Seahawks blitz on 17.3% of their snaps, ranking 29th and 30th respectively. Yet the Seahawks are 5th in pressure rate and the Rams are 8th. Yeah, both these teams, again, because the D-lines are so good. The Seahawks with Leonard Williams, obviously. DeMarcus Lawrence. Uchenna Nwosu, former great USC, outside linebacker now as well. On the Seahawks, too. And the Rams obviously got Byron Young, who's one of the top sack guys in the NFL. Jared Verse, who's coming off of not a great game, but hopefully he'll bounce back. Braden Fisk, going into form. Kobe Turner, Ty Hamilton, Tyler Davis, Puna Ford, just so many different guys who can get after the quarterback on both of these teams that I think for both of these quarterbacks who aren't as mobile, this could be a game also of who could get to the quarterback better, who can fluster the quarterback better. Stafford, I don't think is going to get flustered as easily as Sam Darnold, but we will have to wait and see to find out. And lastly, the Seahawks average the 4th worst yards per carry and have 2nd most rush attempts. On the flip side, Seattle is not very efficient with running the ball, which it does often. The Seahawks have 272 rush attempts, but average only 3.8 yards per carry, which lands them on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Kenneth Walker is averaging a healthy 4.5 yards per carry, but Charbonnet is only getting 3.3 yards per attempt, which will put him among the worst qualified running backs of the NFL. Yeah, Charbonnet, I have it written down here, 94 carries, 313 yards, does have 6 tutties on the year, down from 4.2 yards per carry last year. Kenneth Walker had him in fantasy last year. Again, fantasy is not an indication of how good a player is, but he only averaged 3.7 yards per carry last year. This year, 4.5. He's looking a lot better, looking rejuvenated. So if the Rams can get to this run game early and get it really ineffective, more so with Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet may not even be used in the end zone. I mean, in the red zone area. He has been good in the red area, as I've been seeing, but besides that, he hasn't really been great. And if the Rams can just force Sam Darnold into kind of being a hurried up passer, that's where you can get him into throwing some interceptions. He does have 6 compared to Stafford's 2. Not as many passing touchdowns because the Seahawks want to be a better run team, but it hasn't really come to fruition yet this year. I found this really interesting while I was doing research for this video. I knew Charbonnet was having a down year, but I didn't know it was this down. And shout out to Kenneth Walker for having a bit more of a bounce back season. Walker with 120 carries, 539 yards, but only 3 touchdowns. Now comment down below right now, what is a stat or an area that you think will be the main impact decider of this game? To me, it's going to be the red zone defenses and who can get after the quarterback. And if the Rams can have a much better running game than the Seahawks, I think those are going to be the main 3 outcomes of this game, or the main 3 position groups that outcome in this game. Comment down below what you think of that right now. And lastly, real quick, we have a Davante Adams injury update from the Rams.com, which we will be getting into right now. And Rams head coach Sean McVay said wide receiver Davante Adams with an oblique injury won't practice Wednesday today, but he expects Adams to play Sunday against the Seahawks. I have a quote from McVay that I'll show you right now. He's making good progress, McVay said, also noting that Adams participated in Wednesday's walkthrough prior to practice. That's what he tells me, that he expects to play. He's feeling good, and so I trust the man. He'll be ready. I mean, I trust Davante Adams too. If he tells me he's going to be ready, I would assume he's going to be ready. Obviously, we have to let the body, do its work. We have to, make sure he feels 100% or close to it so that he is able to play. Again, I do think this is a bit of a story, obviously. If Adams is not at 100%, he's a better blocker than people lead on, a good route runner as well. And just a guy the defenses have to pay attention to, which Puka didn't really have last year, and the Rams didn't really have that at all. So if Davante is not 100% or is out, again, expect a guy like Jordan Whittington, I do think would be used more. Xavier Smith, Mumpfield, Ferguson, I think this is going to be a big Terrence Ferguson game. Obviously, Puka going to lead the team and everything. But comment down below right now your thoughts on this Davante Adams injury. Is it something, nothing, or everything? To me, it's something. We'll see what it turns into as this week goes on. And that's been it for this episode of Rams Digest. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. We're on the road to 5K, 5,000 subscribers. If you want to be a part of that journey, make sure to hit that sub button. Click that notification bell, click all so you get notified and never miss whenever we post our daily new Rams Digest video content pieces covering all things Rams. Leave a like on this video for Week 9, getting underway tomorrow, Thursday Night Football, Patriots and Jets. And leave a like for the stream coming up this Sunday around 12:55 p.m. Pacific time. Josh and I will be back for this huge game against the Seattle Seahawks with the number 1 seed in the NFC Conference in play. And leave in the comments down below your thoughts on the Rams avoiding a third down and how great they've been at it and how it will impact this game. Comment down below another position group that will impact the game. To me, it's the O-line, D-line, and the running back rooms of both teams that will really impact this game. And comment below your thoughts on the Davante Adams injury. Something, nothing, or everything. To me, it is something. But I want to know your thoughts on all of this. I've been your host, Joshua Finehirsh, as always. Thank you very much for watching another episode of Rams Digest. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon for another one, and have a great rest of your day.